It's one thing to own a word in your branding and marketing, but it's quite another to focus your institutional vision around a single concept, to make it the core of your planning framework, to align your strategic plan, campus plan, academic plan, and research plan around that one idea, to truly live your brand. This week, I visit a university that has successfully socialized its vision, where top administrators, faculty, staff, and students all seem to be embracing engagement. I'm Ken Steele. Since 2012, BC's Simon Fraser University has positioned itself very clearly.
We're the engaged university. That's how we're taking SFU to new heights.
But what's always impressed me about SFU's vision is that it's much more than a mere slogan. So when President Andrew Petter invited me to campus to find out more, I jumped at the chance. What does that really mean to be an engaged university?
One feature of our vision as an engaged university that really does differentiate us from a traditional ivory tower university is the fact that we see engagement as a core informing feature of what we do. We do a lot to help students gain experience and knowledge in the community, both locally and internationally, as well as in the classroom. We have one of the most extensive co-op programs in the country. The research enterprise is enriched when university-based researchers are partnered with people in the community working on common cause, and knowledge is shared both ways. Researchers working on the opioid crisis in the downtown east side know that if they're going to really address that crisis, they have to understand the people who live in those areas. Innovation is having an idea with a purpose and putting that purpose to use on behalf of the community. So innovation and engagement, they're all part of the same thing. I think all universities engage with communities to some extent, but I think a lot of universities have done it sort of as an act of philanthropy, of something that is good to do on the side or provide some marginal benefit. We see it as informing everything we do. And it's that sense of mutuality, that sense that we as a university are not only adding value but are gaining value, combined with the commitment we've made to make engagement a part of everything we do. That is a differentiating feature, and that does lead to the mission that we've decided to embrace, to be an engaged university, a mission that we think does set us apart.
And across all three campuses of SFU, I found plenty of people who share the president's passion for the vision. Howard Jang is director of the SFU Woodward's Cultural Unit.
So I think an engaged university really does imply that we are connected, we're relevant, and we're on point and on time.
Joy Johnson is SFU's Vice President Research and International.
In terms of finding solutions that will make a difference to society and ensuring that the solutions will find a landing place, I think this connection with community, and when I say community, I mean community and industry, is really, really important.
Sean Smith is co-director of SFU's Radius Social Innovation Lab and Venture Incubator.
Our work is out with community, solving real problems that matter, connecting students to that work, and really engaging SFU in meaningful problem solving with the communities and stakeholders that we have.
Sarah Lubick is Director of Entrepreneurship and Innovation.
And we're also very responsive to the needs of the community, and that's something that you see for SFU writ large.
Shauna Sylvester is Director of the SFU Center for Dialogue.
For me, the vision of engagement is the future of the modern university.
For SFU's 50th anniversary, students even put the theme to music.
Engage the world for SFU.
The concept of engagement has been embraced across the university because really, it was always there.
There's always been a spirit of activism and energy about Simon Fraser University, and one of the ways it's expressed itself is in a desire to connect with the community, and that goes right back to the beginning, and it's unfolded over the last 50 years.
I have been around Simon Fraser University since I was 4 years old, when my father was a PhD student in the late 60s and early 70s. And engagement is part of the DNA of the faculty and students of this university. It's always been there.
Well, I think what's really been exciting about the whole engagement strategy at SFU is it hasn't been a top-down strategy. It couldn't be a top-down strategy. The idea of a vision around engagement grew out of things that were already happening in the institution, and the vision has simply, I think, persuaded, excited, motivated people to do more.
You know a strategy has really been socialized on campus when it permeates all sorts of administrative decisions. Am Johal is the director of SFU's Van City Office of Community Engagement.
We bring it up into our hiring practices in terms of who we're trying to bring on at the staff level. There's certainly a value in terms of hiring of faculty as well. And as a result of that, the momentum kind of keeps building on itself, which is fascinating.
One of the first high-profile initiatives of the engagement strategy was the SFU Public Square.
The SFU Public Square is the signature initiative of SFU's commitment to community engagement.
We're breathing new life into an old concept, the public square, where hearts and minds and talents converge and futures are reimagined.
The university becomes a public square in the community. And that means there's a relationship that is both the university in the community, but the community in the university as well.
SFU Public Square is more than a single place. It's a signature initiative of Canada's leading community-engaged research university, designed to spark, nurture, and restore community connections and establish Simon Fraser University as British Columbia's go-to convener of conversations that matter.
The most exciting thing about the SFU Public Square, I think it has become one of the leading engagement risk takers in the academic world.
But the dialogue isn't just for academics. The Public Square hosts events, and the university partners with media to engage the broader public in the conversation.
SFU Public Square has developed really strong partnerships with newspapers and other media, all of whom see an opportunity to perhaps gain the benefit of content and knowledge and dialogue that they themselves don't have the capacity to generate. We had Edward Snowden beamed here from Moscow when we did a major public engagement around the uses and abuses of big data. And we filled up the Queen Elizabeth Theatre with 3,000 people. But we also trended across the country.
It's a mark of an engaged university that they invest the resources to communicate in modern media. SFU has a talented creative team of videographers who produce top-quality video day in and day out. And if you've been watching 10 with Ken for a while, you know they also produce some of the best April Fool videos in the world.
That sitting really is the new smoking.
Spent a semester actually in a satellite campus in orbit.
We're hoping that these lanes, perhaps with dividers, will be able to keep people on the right path to reduce the rate of distraction, collision, and injury.
SFU's openness to creativity in those April Fool's videos is probably reflective of an institutional culture that cultivates that openness to innovation and to engagement with the community at multiple levels, rather than simply at a scholarly academic tone, right?
Well, I think it's true. I think part of that mutuality I talk about is us not only being open to the community, but being a little less serious about ourselves and being a little more willing to laugh about ourselves.
At SFU, engagement is more than just a brand position, but it is that too.
So certainly part of the goal of the engagement vision was to consider what within SFU would really differentiate us, and the theme of engagement seemed to capture that, and I think has helped to communicate it, and indeed has differentiated us from other universities that have other strengths and are no doubt the best of their kind.
I hope you can see some of the ways in which the engagement strategy has been embraced by programs and services across Simon Fraser University. I want to thank President Andrew Petter for bringing me to campus, and the patient souls from the marketing department, Kurt, Win Yi, and Gabe, for spending 2 days with me across 3 campuses. But we still haven't talked about the most exciting, concrete way in which SFU has committed to community building, in bricks and mortar, and literally moved mountains. Next week, join me as we look at how SFU's investment in physical infrastructure reflects its goals to embrace its communities. To be sure you don't miss it, take a moment now to join more than 13,000 10 with Ken subscribers and followers on any of a dozen platforms. And check out some of our other episodes on branding, strategy, and a whole range of innovations. Thanks for watching. But it's quite another to focus talented creative team of videographers who create blah, blah, blah. Sorry about that. And check out some of our and some out, yeah.